Hello everybody, Volen here, in Pursuit of Art. I want to talk to you about a question that I get asked pretty often. It goes something like this. Dude, that's me, I've seen about 14 minutes of one of your videos. It's really awesome. Could you please tell me exactly what I need to do to become an artist? And if you could please tell me specifically only the right stuff to do and none of the wrong stuff to do. Because I only want to do the right stuff. And I only want to use my time for the good stuff. I don't want to use my time for any of the bad stuff. Okay, so this is how the question goes. It's that or some form of, I don't want to do the wrong thing. I don't want to spend any time doing things that aren't 100% the right thing. That's essentially what's behind the question. Ever since I started, I've been getting these. So by now, I assume that these are something that people have in their minds quite a bit. Well, let me just say right here at the start that there is absolutely no possible way that you're only going to do the right stuff and not do any of the wrong stuff. If you don't go down the wrong path, you can't possibly know what the right things are. And even if you do know them, you didn't figure that out yourself. You just it got handed to you. So when it's handed to you, you can't really make good decisions based on what you have, because you don't really know why those things were picked to be the right things, right? You can't possibly judge why they're valuable. So this would happen if you were just handed 100% the right answers only, which obviously in reality there's no way that that's going to happen. So I'm just exaggerating this to make a point. There's no possible way that you will just have the right info, and even if you did, you would not be able to work with it efficiently because you wouldn't know why it's the right stuff. You need to sift the right stuff from the wrong stuff in order to understand why it's valuable, because you can't even judge value if you don't know why it got to the point that this is the stuff that really holds up. If someone just handed you a bunch of money, if someone handed you just 10 trillion billion dollars, you couldn't possibly know the value of a dollar, right? That means that you'll just spend on whatever. You wouldn't know what to do with it. You wouldn't know how to value it. You wouldn't know comparatively what's $1 compared to 10 billion. It's all the same. You've just never had that lack. You've never had to earn any of that stuff. Now that same example, it's not necessary that having the 10 billion trillion dollars is a bad thing. But if the goal was for you to handle money really well, then it would be the absolute worst thing, because you just apply everything at all times without regard for what's really important and what isn't. It's because you never got to figure out why something works and why something doesn't. You just got handed a huge amount of resources, you have it, but you don't know how to get more of it, and you don't know even what to do with it. You could apply that same logic to skill versus talent. Someone that you may say, so if their brain is this is essentially what talent is to me. If your brain is just wired a certain way, so you are more efficient at certain tasks rather than other people, you are more likely to undervalue that because you just didn't have to work for it. So I'm reading this in one of the books that I'm reading. There's studies, and this shouldn't really be surprising, but this is scientifically proven that people value more what they had to earn. So if you had to earn something through a lot of pain, through a lot of effort, once you got it, even if it's not as satisfying, let's say that, just put a number on it. So let's say that you suffered through something that was really hard, and the outcome, 1 out of 10 is, let's say, that's a 5. Like, just objectively, let's say it's not really great. It's okay. So you suffered through something, you get to the end, and it's like a 5. To you though, it will be a 7, an 8, maybe even a 10. If it was the hardest thing you've ever had to do, that experience of having gone through that would make the final product so much better for you. It would just raise its value for you, its perceived value. So take again someone that only just does the right thing. Take for instance that all their learning comes to them just like that. Also, let's say that they have the best teachers, best coaches, best art instructors, so they get to the end level as quick as they can. Let's say like within a year, within 2 years, they're up there. They're getting everything that they could possibly want. That's fine. But let's say that 5 years from now, how would you feel about it then, let's say? So there's a lot of ways that you could tackle this, and really I want to make a couple points about all this, but I just want to say that doing the wrong thing isn't necessarily bad. If you didn't do the wrong thing, you wouldn't know how to even judge objectively what's good versus what bad. Knowledge, in my opinion, is earned. You can read it in a textbook and you can see what people say is important, but until you actually put it to practice and until you also have a few experiences that are so suboptimal, you couldn't possibly know why that good stuff is so good. And then the next time something comes along, you wouldn't really have that database to judge it against. So if you just did wrong stuff for a very long time, like I have, I've had stuff that I've learned that's taken me months to learn that I figured, dude, this is unusable. There's no way that this is ever gonna come into practice. It's just unfeasible. Fine, that's cool. Next time I have something though, I am gonna have a different strategy about how I'm gonna approach it. I'm not gonna spend a month up front to learn about it. I'm gonna first see where can I fit this. So my process has changed, and this isn't something that's intellectual. Like, I don't just rationalize, I should now check the clipboard to see if this matches X. It's become internal because I've done it before. Because I've had that experience, I almost have like an inner error checker, which you actually do. It's in your brain. I can't remember the part. I think it may be the insula or something like that. But anyway, you do have an error checking mechanism. That's why if you say the wrong word or say it differently, it's gonna pick up on that and you're gonna know, that was weird, like why did you do that? So if someone walks around with their finger up their nose, that seems kind of wrong, and your brain is gonna alert you, dude, don't come close to me, I'm gonna punch you. So, number one reason for why you shouldn't be afraid of doing the wrong stuff is because you're gonna develop that database, that vault of information that you can use to error check with things that you're gonna be learning in the future. One thing you have to be aware of is this thing is not gonna end anytime soon. If you look at art, so I spent all day yesterday, I was in the library and I was just looking at all kinds of art books, masters, etc. If you look at their stuff and if you look at modern stuff, art is evolving at an incredibly rapid pace. So your learning curve, that is now infinite. If it was ever a short line or an arc of some sort, now it's become this endless spiraling loop that's around other spiraling loops. They're all twirling together and they're playing weird, spooky, eerie music. There's no telling where this stuff is gonna end or where it's gonna go to. Your learning becomes a lifelong thing, which is great because project that 50, 60 years from now, people that stay active within their later years are much more likely to have all their cognitive capacity be in check and in place. And if you ever wondered why someone's granny at 80 or 90 is, you know, jumping around and doing all kinds of stuff versus someone else that may have had everything, but at 70 or 80, they're just, It happens because those people were most likely the people that got to live to that age and age well. They had things that they were still involved with and engaged with mentally, physically, and doing all kinds of stuff. So really, doing hard stuff translates into gains that come 5, 10 years down the road, but accumulate over time. So this is going to be good for you now with the next thing that you do 50 years from now, 100 years from now, if you're like 2 months old when you watch this now, or if you're watching this in 50 years and something's happened. Doing hard stuff will change your brain. It will make you more disciplined. It will make you more aware and also a lot more cognizant of your time. I find that people that aren't really doing stuff or just aren't really focused, they'll tend to spend their time on anything. And I do understand the people that ask me the question, like, what's the right thing to do? I appreciate that it comes from a good mindset. But one thing that I do want to talk about is that potentially this could be another sinister form of procrastinating. Are you asking me exactly what to do because your time is just so overbooked that you can't possibly afford to make a mistake of 20, 30 minutes and then figure out maybe this isn't going to work, I should try something else? Or is it that you just want to know the right thing? So let's say you can do the least amount of work possible, which is one thing. Or is it just because, let's say, you have so much anxiety about maybe doing the wrong thing or not getting there that you need some reassurance and you need some soothing to be told, this is what you have to do, this is the right path, you are doing the right thing, everything's okay. Now, I'm not saying that to minimize anything, but why I'm saying it is because all this art stuff that we're doing, it requires, okay? It's literally required that you get comfortable with not knowing how something's gonna turn out. Each and every project that you do will be something that most likely you would have not done before. So you're not just gonna be, you're not gonna be repeating the same painting over and over. Even as good as you get, it doesn't matter. You will always wonder if you can pull this one off, or if this is the one that's not gonna come together. You need to get really comfortable not knowing what the next thing is that's coming up, not knowing if you can do it, and just staying in that simmering uncomfortability and just sitting there just like, this kind of sucks, but I'm okay, and I'm just gonna put in some more work, put in some more work, put in some more work. Maybe it'll work out, is it gonna work out now? Should I change it? You are always gonna be in that perpetual wondering, is this the right thing? Is this the wrong thing? Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Should I have done this? Should I have maybe stopped completely and not have done any of that stuff? This is the process of art. So your learning of art is essentially what each and every piece, every piece is a microcosm of what learning art is. So learning art, let's say, is 5 years of time. And you have to navigate problems that you're uncertain about. You have to go down dead alleys. You have to make mistakes. You have to be comfortable with no one looking at your work, no one saying a single thing about your best thing, and someone just saying like, haha, haha, that really sucks. Like, you're the worst. Like, I'll do it. I've never seen anything. So my eyeball exploded, and my nose is now where my eyeball used to be, just to hide the hole while I was looking at your thing. I was eating food while I was watching, and now the food is somehow in my face and I can't get rid of it. I must have smacked my head on because that was so bad. It's the worst. Like, it's the worst. I went to the doctor and they accidentally just took my head away from my body, and like that was really, I thought that was bad, and then I just had to live as a head for like a couple of decades, but it's kind of is worse. Like, it just feels so much worse than what that was like. Like, I thought that was, no, this is, I don't have my body, but it just hurts in my body that I don't have. It's how bad you are. So you might get a lot of that stuff. You probably will get a lot of that stuff. And you need to be comfortable saying, okay, well, I'm just gonna go and do more. And I'm just gonna put that out there again tomorrow, and day after, and day after, and day after, etc., etc. You never know if you're on the right track. You never know if you're on the wrong track. What if, let's say, everything that we've been learning collectively, let's say all the people that are at the top, all the people at the bottom, all of a sudden someone comes out with something next week. Dudes, this is what we're all doing now. It's nothing, no tablets, no monitors. It's just you get this pig and you put a helmet on it, and it runs around your house, and you draw a little circle on its butt, and whatever you put a word in there, and whatever that word is, concept art appears from the pig as it runs around. Because why not? Within 5 or 10 years, why not the crazy pig concept art thing? Everything else that we do right now is so crazy compared to what it used to be 50 years ago. None of this stuff existed. So anyone at that time that would have thought that you can just take a photo and just slap it into something, you would have had to draw everything. Anyway, let's not go down that route too. Getting back on topic. Learning art is the macro. Each and every piece is the micro. The micro is the same as the macro. The characteristics that you need to possess, the strength of character, the comfortability, being uncomfortable, the ability to persevere when you're not sure if it's going to work out, to work problems until they're solved, and to not give up halfway, or to not prematurely like decide to maybe I give up, like it's just not going to work out. All of those things you're developing as you're struggling with each and every skills. How do I figure out value? How do I figure out color? How do I figure out what brushes to use? How do I figure out which software to pick? Should I learn 3D for like 3 months? What if I learned the wrong 3D? Should I learn to do UV unwrapping? Should I do modeling? Should I do production modeling? Should I do concept modeling? Should I learn about topology? Should I do ZBrush? Should I do Modo? Should I do Maya? Should I do 3D? It goes on and on and on. Compare that to a piece. Okay, this is the concept that I need to come up with, or this is the idea that I have. Should I place the character here or should I put him there? Should I use a kid? Should I use an adult? Should I have, what costume should I have? Should I put earrings on him? Should I have jewelry? Should I have tattoos? Should I maybe not have a character? Should I just put a space that suggests the character but I don't really show it? Should I have a close-up? Should it not be a full... What do you do? These things are going to be with you for as long as you're doing this. So getting comfortable with all of that discomfort and all of that uncertainty is your #1 priority. So when you ask the question, what is exactly what I should be doing and what is the one thing that I need to do to maximize my learning time and never go wrong, that's not going to happen. You're going to scrape your knees many times, you're going to fall off many times, but here's another final thing that I'm going to wrap up with. It's a story from Joe DeSena. I found this when I first heard it. I thought it was really, really powerful. Joe DeSena, if you don't know him, he's the guy behind Spartan Race, and he's getting millions of people, as he says, off the couch and off racing, doing obstacle courses and just becoming Spartans. So this guy did incredibly long endurance races. They would be events that go on for days or weeks. It's not like a marathon or a triathlon. As an interviewer said once of him, a marathon or a triathlon for this guy is a warm-up. That's on day 1. He goes on for, let's say, 10 days. So they were doing this endurance event once, he said, and I don't know what day it was. Let's pretend that it's like day 3 or day 4 out of 6 or 7. And he said that at one point that they found out that they were going down the wrong route. They had spent about 8 to 12 hours going down the wrong route, okay? That means that you're 8 hours late or 12, but you have to come all the way back. And then you have to go the right way if you manage to find it. So if you're in a race, it is a race, okay? It's timed. Obviously, everyone is going to the goal as fast as possible. That is the essence of a race. 12 hours behind, plus another 12 hours back. 24 hours out of a race that lasts a few days. Is that worth going back? So some people on his team, they said, let's just quit, there's no point, it's not gonna happen. He said, let's just keep going and let's just finish it, okay? Let's just finish it. Just make that your goal. Let's just finish it. Let's just finish this one thing. Let's just finish this one study, this one next piece of art. Let's just finish values. Let's just crack the code to color. Let's just finish this next piece. So went back, went the right way, finished, and they came in first. Okay? How amazingly awesome is that? They came in first. They went 8 to 12 hours the wrong way, came back that same day and went and finished first. Why? Many of the people that went the wrong track probably gave up. Even if they went 2 hours, what if there was a team that was right with them but they only went wrong for like 2 hours and then decided, dude, 2 hours, there's no way we're gonna recover, we're done for, let's just quit. There were teams that gave up. There were other people that were lost for a longer time than they were. But you don't know that when you're in the race. When you're in the race, you think this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened. There's no coming back from this. We're screwed. Let's just give up. This is how it feels all the time, right? Every single study that doesn't work out. Dude, this sucks. I want to do something else. I want to do something I'm good at. Maybe I should consider a different career. Maybe this isn't for me. Whatever. Just finish. Because another thing is, if you're actually not cultivating the muscle of finishing, you're gonna give up in the next thing. So let's say you decide to change, I'm gonna do this now, well then you're gonna go on for as long as you went with this. Because no matter what it is you wanna do, it's gonna take roughly the same amount of time, the 3 to 5 years. Obviously there's like jobs that may pay well, that may just take a year of training, whatever, but then you're kind of stuck. You can't really develop. You settle for the easy win. Anyway, it's not gonna go down any more 8 to 12 hour routes with this video. This is all I wanna leave you with. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable and uncertain and unsolved part of art, because this is your job. You become a problem solver when you're an artist. Your first problem is, how do you become the artist? How do you become an artist? What tools do you learn? How do you learn them? You need to become a learner. You need to become a problem solver. Combine those two together, you become an artist. Each and everything that you're faced with is the microcosm of that artist. How do you solve this thing that's never been done before? What tools do you use? What techniques? How do you make it more efficiently? How do you improve? How do you get better? Amazing as a character builder, amazing for your brain long term, amazing for your character, so you can develop discipline, develop courage, develop staying power. Don't give up. Go down the wrong way many times, and when you get there, feel awesome that you made it there, because you are in the race. One is just like, you have your legs, you can't be there. That's something that no one would appreciate, but just the very fact that you are even capable of becoming an artist just because you decided to, that is amazing. That is not something that people could have done in any other time than now. You're incredibly fortunate just by being here now, and even though you feel like this may be a huge wall, 5 years from now there's gonna be nothing left of that wall apart from a big hole that is shaped exactly in your likeness. All right, just keep smashing your face into that wall until there's no wall left, because if you keep hitting it every day, that wall is gonna fall down. I'll see you soon.